Today, we're going to be reviewing ESPN's article, which is breaking down the chances of the #1 overall pick way too early for the 2026 NFL draft. Let's jump right into this. And, if you guys are new, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Below my face is my board. It is based on my all 22 grades. They're completely honest. There are videos out on all these players. You guys can go see if you wonder why I love players. You can see why. But let's talk about this because I actually already looked over this. It is a review of essentially like 20 players. And it's not 20 players. It's 14. But we still get to talk about some really good players, including ones that I haven't really talked very much about. LaNorris Sellers, I've talked about ad nauseum. He's right now projected at a 15% chance. And I don't understand, or I would not disagree with this at all. I completely understand it. That's how I should say it. I was about to say I don't not understand. I'm like, no light to tease in this. But yeah, 15%, that makes it's a pretty big chance, honestly. But let's talk about the player himself and why. First off, 6'3", 242. Ridiculous build. But on top of that, you just think, okay, well, I mean, anybody who's 6'3" can get up to 242. This guy is built to the 9. I mean, like probably 0% body fat. You guys know it's like 5% body fat, but he is just somebody who is built incredibly well and he moves unbelievably smoothly. Like, it is absurd how he's actually grown as a football player with his athleticism over the season. Like, look at how he played versus Clemson. That will tell you everything you need to know. And LaNorris is he's a super solid passer for, the style of quarterback he is. Again, you think about all the poor tendencies you'd learn in high school being this good of an athlete. And the fact that this is his first year starting last year, he's done a really, really good job. So I do think that 15% is certainly on the table. And LaNorris Sellers is a superstar. But again, we've talked about him a lot. Same thing with Cade Klubnik, who is tied for a 15% chance at going #1 overall. Another one where kind of the antithesis of what we were just talking about with LaNorris. Cade is somebody who is super high floor based on how he's developed. He wasn't going into 2024, but going to 2025, he's just proven that he is a very high floor option with a really solid high floor, right? We're not talking about, like good backup. We're talking about somebody who is like a legitimate high potential player who has gotten better every single year, who does everything right. That's a good place to be. I mean, if he goes #1 overall, I'm not going to be disappointed. He is tied for my QB 4/5, but at the same time, I understand. And that's a good spot to be in. Again, I've talked about Cade Klubnik a ton. Let's not talk about that. Drew Aller's in the same boat. They also give him a 15% chance. And it's kind of a hybrid almost of Cade Klubnik and LaNorris Sellers. Drew Aller's young. He's improved every single year. I think 2 years ago he was very scary, but you just see the mechanics improving all the time with Drew. He has a crazy cannon of an arm. He is tall. He is big. He is built for the cold weather. Some guys just can't handle the cold weather. Drew Aller thrives in it. And he's somebody who could have been a first-round pick this past year, ended up electing not to, and chose to go and try to win with Penn State. And I respect that. That's a good mentality Penn State has. So I understand that as well. He'll be a first-round pick, young and continually developing, has those plays where you're just like, my goodness. And that's what you need to have to be a starter in the NFL. So I definitely agree with that. Those three are probably the three top guys for the #1 pick. Garrett Nussmeier also is tied at 15%. So they're tying up 60% with these guys. Nussmeier has some of those like mechanical attributes that are just awesome. And he has those throws under pressure that are great. At the same time, it's the exact opposite situation where, Nussmeier has those throws where it's like, what the hell are you doing? And that's why I have a big issue with Nussmeier. On top of that, being only 200 pounds, again, people continue to not talk about it. And I love Jordan Reid, so I'm not trying to say this is a Jordan Reid thing. I'm saying this is an industry thing. No one talks about it. Garrett Nussmeier is listed 6'2", 200. He is a small player. Oh, I'm tripping balls. There you go. But no one's like, I mean, maybe I haven't fully read this article out, but we're just talking about the player themselves. It's just, he really has a scary small frame when you're talking about guys who have 243 pounds on them, 250 pounds or 240 pounds. And then also someone who's like, even we're talking about Klubnik here, he's 210, right? And 210 is kind of thin for him. And then you look at Nussmeier, he's 200. I'm like, yeah, it's tough. So Garrett Nussmeier, the guy who I'm a bit lower on than pretty much everyone else. Then we have some potential risers, which this is pretty damn close to that 15 percentile range. Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. I don't think that he would end up being a number one pick, but I am perfectly open to it. He is my QB3, so I'm not, and that includes Arch Manning as a QB2. I really do like Mendoza. It's just going to be very tough to see him take that big of a step. Granted, Indiana has seen guys take meteoric rises, so I respect it. I like the fact that they ended up talking about this. And if Indiana makes a run, then we have something certainly to talk about. He has the athletic capability to be that awesome. TJ Parker is next with a 10% chance to go at number one overall. I just was a little bit underwhelmed with TJ Parker. I think technically wise, or based on his technical foundation, awesome. Like, he definitely has all the moves in the book, has a really good frame. He's a solid athlete. My biggest problem was I think that his processing on the field, understanding where the play is, how to attack, was very underwhelming. And that's honestly something that ends up growing as time goes on in your career. So it is something that I do think he's going to continue growing, developing. And I like the idea of him having a shot at this. But I will say I'm not the biggest guy on TJ Parker. I do prefer a lot of edge rushers over him currently. Arch Manning has a 5% chance. And the only reason would be that, like, if he ends up coming out, is if Texas wins, he wins the Heisman. And he's going to be the number one pick, likes the team that's at number one. I do think if he ends up coming out, he is the number one pick. So I think this 5% should just be essentially like reflective of the fact that he probably won't come out. But Arch Manning is awesome. In the 2 starts that he had, I mean, I think that he did a really solid job. And I honestly could see it really working. Then we have the out of nowheres. So this is the section that made me want to do this video, because everybody else we've already talked about. But John Mateer, quarterback out of Oklahoma, coming from Washington State. He's going to a system that I think will end up actually treating him a lot better than Washington State. Wazoo I don't know what they're up to, but they just weren't up to no good. Oklahoma's still not my ideal spot for Mateer to have gone, but I still think he'll end up doing a really good job there. Crazy athlete. Those guys that are like the holy shit kind of moments. That's John Mateer. And, he has a real lively arm. It's just the processing, not really there. And it's something that he never really got a chance to develop because he was always under pressure. So I do think Mateer is one of those guys who I would put above even Garrett Nussmeier for a number one overall pick. Sam Levitt as well. He is a gamer. He is so fun to watch. Quarterback at Arizona State, for those of y'all who are listening to the audio version. But Sam Levitt's just a fun player. Just the problem is he feels like he's playing a video game over an actual NFL game. I do think it's a huge long shot for him because he has a lot of room to grow. But I definitely will say there are moments where you could see Sam Levitt being an absolute superstar. With a 1% chance, we have Peter Woods, defensive interior out of Clemson. It's just because defensive interior is not necessarily looked at as high, but Peter Woods is awesome. I'm going to be doing my defensive interior video next week. I'm doing the graphics right now. Peter Woods is an absolute baller. I am perfectly fine with him being listed in here. And I think he's going to continue polishing because he is a great block shedder. And I don't think he is as effective as a pass rusher as people like to say he is, but I think people get enamored by the block shedding and not necessarily the actual pass rushing itself. That's okay. And maybe I'm wrong, but the one thing I think we all agree on is he's a damn good, he has his high end reps are just jaw dropping. So I respect it. Peter Woods is not a fluke. He is a damn good player. Then we had Spencer Fano, tackle out of Utah. We'll see if the arm length is good enough, because I know that what's funny is that Jordan Reid, who's writing this article, has Spencer Fano. No, I'm tripping. Francis Mauigoa was the one he had as a guard. I recant my statement. But needs to add some weight for sure, 302 pounds. I'm excited to get into the tackle class since now I'm finishing up DI. But, I mean, tackle is tough to go at number one, especially with some of the questions that Fano has. Proctor as well. I think Proctor has a higher chance of going number one, even though he's like 2 to 3 years away from being worth this. I don't think he has a high chance of going number one in this draft, but in the next one, like if Arch somehow comes out this year, I think it would be Proctor if he develops properly. Big asterisk. Could end up challenging like DJ Lagaway. But Proctor has some of the best, like, he's a freak and he's a really solid athlete at that size. I still think he should lose a little bit of pounds, but Caden Proctor definitely has a chance to be something awesome. Problem is his floor is dirt low. Like, he has some games where it just looks absolutely atrocious. So that's a big issue when especially you have other things you need to work on. But Proctor definitely, based on the fact that he's kind of an alien, could end up being there. Isaiah World is a fun one. He was a really good tackle at Nevada going in, and 6'8", 312 going to Oregon, filling some pretty big shoes as well. Definitely going to be excited to see how he performs, but Number one, again, this is the long shot territory. I respect it. I mean, I would end up probably trying to toss in, eh, I'd toss in Ruben Bain well before Isaiah World, based on what I know right now. Then, of course, you got Caleb Downs. I was going to say Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is just, he's at a position that no one respects as a first round or as a number one overall pick. So that's the problem. Like, he's just at not a valuable enough position to garner that number one overall spot. If a team wants to take him number one and there's a spot number two, they'll switch with the number two team, right? Like, that's just the way it rolls. So I respect it, but Caleb Downs is the second best player in the class, arguably the best. So that's going to be the video. I mean, I'll end up tossing a couple more names. Again, I love Ruben Bain Jr. I think that he absolutely should be listed as somebody who could end up going into this range. I think LT Overton 100% will be considered. Like, if we're talking about Travon Walker at number one, I think LT Overton's a big dark horse for that. Those are going to be the names that I toss into that list, though. I mean, I couldn't see Jordan Tyson doing it just because he's not the best athlete on planet Earth, but he is just really good in everything. So that would probably be the next guy added to the list. I love Malachi Lawrence. I don't think that there's a consensus view on him that really warrants him to go number one at all. More so first round is where I would really be stretch pushing it at the moment, but I digress. I think that we have a really fun draft class coming up, and I hope you guys are excited for it. Thank you for taking the time and watching and enjoying this with me. I'll see you later. Peace.